Hi, my name's Richard, and today I'm going to be playing one of my favourite songs. It's Good Times, Bad Times by Led Zeppelin. In my next video I'm going to be playing Paranoid by Black Sabbath. this video I'm going to demonstrate my instrumental knowledge of the guitar by playing a number of scales and also some guitar techniques. The first things I'm going to do are the scales. So we'll start off with the major, then the minor, and then the pentatonic scale. That's a major scale. Now a minor scale. Now a pentatonic scale. And those are the basic scales. Most rock songs, or any song really now, is elaborated on one of those three scales. The next thing I'm going to play is a small extract from Deep Purple's Smoke on the Water. Now this is a very bluesy guitar solo that showcases a little bit about bends, pre-bends, vibrato, and also a small bit of legato as well. So as you can see, I'm a big fan of bends, especially when you have this nice sustained tone on it. That gives you that classic crunch sound. I'm also a big fan of the two-string bend as well. The next thing I'm going to do is completely different actually, is the caged chord system. The caged chord system is very useful because it stays within a 3 frets plus the open string at the bottom, but it stays within a 4-fret cage, and also the letters happen to also spell cage as well, C, A, G, E, D. So here are all the chord shapes that we have. We've got C, A, G, E, and D. Now these 5 shapes can be replicated anywhere on the fretboard, and each to play the other 4 notes. So just for a quick example, C. If we move this up, so bar the 2nd fret, there we've got a nice D. And the same with the D. If you move that up, you can actually make an E. And you can do that throughout the whole fretboard. And it's a very, very useful tool for songwriters, particularly when you're messing around maybe with a scale up here, and you want to just, instead of moving up and down the fretboard to your known spots, knowing this cage system allows you to make full use of the entire fretboard. The next thing I'm going to be demonstrating is actually just a little bit of my own sweeping. I'm a big fan of sweeping, and also of the two-handed tapping. Two-handed tapping is one of those things that's quite hard to get the hang of, but quite fun once you do. And the last thing I just want to show a little bit of is sweep picking. Also, I tend to use actually economy picking with the sweeping. I'm not a strict both sweep up and down. I tend to sweep up and then just hammer off. That little riff I was doing there, just a nice economy picking riff. So instead of hitting every fret with the plectrum, I just hit the 2 and hammer off in between. And it just means it flows more. You get a little bit of that legato effect in it, which I'm also very fond of in particularly in my more, well, everything, blues through all the way through to metal. I just find, rather than something going, unless you're meant to have that sound, it just sounds a bit better when it's sounds a bit better when it flows. Now just a bit of a play really, utilising quite a few of those little techniques there. In this final video, I'm going to explain the music theory side of things, so just display my knowledge of musical theory. I'm going to start out with the basics, so note values, do the semi-breve, minim, crotchet, quaver and semi-quaver respectively, starting with semi-breve. Next, I'm going to be doing a bit about time signatures. There's a number of time signatures which are commonly used. The first one being common time, which is abbreviated either as C or 4/4. This means 4 beats in a bar, for crotchets specifically. You also have 2/4, which can be interchangeable depending on how it's written. So 2 would be 2 beats in a bar of 4. You also then have other time signatures such as 3/4 and irregular ones 7/8, 3/8, and these are dealing with the quavers rather than the crotchets as the means of counting. Key signatures we also have as well. So on key signatures, the C major key is the key of C is the only one that does not have anything after your treble clef or bass clef. But we'll go with the treble clef since I'm playing the guitar. You have your treble clef and then your time signature. Your key signature after would be the number of flats or sharps in a scale. For example, like I said, the C has no flats or sharps, and then after that you'd put how many flats were in any particular scale. And intervals I'll talk about next. So for the C major, with a number of intervals ranging from major second to the octave. So in order, major second, major third, major fourth, major fifth, major sixth, major seventh, and the octave. And then obviously basic chords last thing I'd like to talk about is the circle of fifths. Now the circle of fifths is indispensable in finding key signatures and their respective sharps and flats. It's shaped like a clock with 12 different positions on it. At the top, 12 o'clock, you've got C, then counting down clockwise, you've got then G, D, A, E, B, F sharp at the bottom, and then D flat, A flat, E flat, B flat, and F on the way back up. The F sharp, also G flat. And basically it's called the circle of fifths because, I mean, each fifth being an interval, is it's the standard chord progression. So if you're playing a C, the natural chord to move to is a G. Likewise, with particular favourites of mine in the old school rock and roll and blues, you've got your A, D, E, A chord progression, such as classic riffs, such as here. And they're all with this fifth, and the circle of fifths is basically just a way of putting all that together, and it's just this map, like a musician's map for finding key signatures.